I once read that in war, the first casualty is truth. What is inside that book is nothing but truth, comrade. All the men who fought so hard, all of their heroism, it's in those pages.
Company of Heroes is a tactical RTS set in World War II. We started back in 2006, released the critically acclaimed original, and that was one of the highest rated PC games of all time. Now we're following it up with Company of Heroes 2. It's been 6 years, but we've got a brand new engine, a whole bunch of really neat new gameplay, and a new front of war. We're taking the player to the Eastern Front, which is the biggest conflict of the biggest war of our time. We took a look back at the original game, A Company of Heroes, and that covers Normandy. We go into Holland with the sort of Arnhem Bridge campaign. And we had dealt with about 4 months out of the 6 years of the war. We're missing the biggest part of the war, and we needed to go tell that story. It is one of the most brutal and most epic parts of the war. It was cold, it was forbidding, it was brutal. I mean, we have somewhere around 30 million deaths. Maybe one of every 2 deaths in World War II were experienced on the Eastern Front. And we've got 2 epic ideologies. You have the Communist Soviet Union and the Third Reich, the German Third Reich, fighting it out for supremacy.
Our soldiers had no choice. It was fight or die. The only way we're going to survive this day is to advance.
We loved the experience that we had created in the original game, and we wanted to do more. We had introduced Essence Engine with the original game. Essence Engine 3 takes a lot of our technology even further. The game looks better, it's going to run better. It's got more fidelity, more authenticity. All that was part of the technological development. And then, of course, we want the game to look good, but we also want critical decisions to be made by the player. We want the player to be affected by the cold weather, have his troops affected by exposure. And it opens up the sort of tactical choices for the player, and also the tactical consequences of fighting in the deep cold and the blizzard conditions that you find in the Soviet Union. Players are going to expect the big key weapons. They're going to see T-34s. We've introduced the KV-1 and the Katyusha rocket launcher. They're going to see a lot of the German favorites as well, Tigers and Panthers and those kinds of things. And we've got a lot more units in this game than we had in the original. So, we'll be talking more about some of those. There's some really neat ones we're going to introduce over time. But we love history. We're sort of students of history, and our fans are really interested in the historical aspect of the game. We want to try and give them all the units that are they've seen in the documentaries.
It had been 4 brutal years, a long and bloody road.
Every hard-fought battle was necessary, comrade.
What sets Company of Heroes apart from other RTSs is the tactical focus and also the presentation. We put a lot of effort into our sort of attention to detail, and that's driven by our desire to sort of show authenticity. And when we talk about authenticity, it's not nuts and bolts. It's not making sure everything is absolutely perfect. It's about the tone of the experience, about letting the players kind of get a little bit of a feel for the chaotic nature, the sort of brutality of warfare, and the cause and effect that they're dealing with based on the choices they make in the game. That's kind of what we talk about, sort of authenticity. So you get that attention to detail, the sort of authenticity, and then the presentational layer, graphics and the sound that all add into this really amazing gameplay experience.